Anyway, there is a history professor of some note named Christopher Phelps. Anyway, it's been discussed in his class what his last name means. He said it means holder of horses. Phelps. Anyway, and at one time when I was we were discussing a book called The Chaney'sville Incident. I don't know. We were talking about the civil rights movement and all this thing, that. And I don't know. It turns out that I don't know if it was a communist party or somebody, some group, maybe it was the predecessor of the ACLU, came down to Birmingham or someplace where these men were being held for a rape of a white woman. Anyway, I think they were from Chicago. What happened was they went into the jail to kind of like give some encouragement to these guys, those black guys who were in jail for rape of a white woman, who claims that they raped her while she was, I don't know, riding a train, I don't know, hobo-like, or maybe in an encampment. They had hobo camps back then. Anyway, what happens is they offer them some candy. It is a candy bar. So at this point, I'm in my academic life. I snicker, and as I snicker about that, to me it seemed not ridiculous, but demeaning for someone to give you candy as if you were a child. And anyway, Phelps took great umbrage at that. And what happened was, I don't know, he sort of slammed me down or something. But anyway, this is a reality that doesn't seem real, does it? It isn't real. But anyway, but in the sense that there is a reality of some note, let's pretend it's real stuff. Look, it's really real. There's a real AT&T store there, possibly not. There's really a light, but I can't see it because it's obscured by this goddamn big ass truck. Okay? So, in a movie, let's say a movie treatment of things, you have this movie called The Marathon Man, who a Jew is running the marathon. He starts wearing a cap. It turns out his cap becomes popular after someone running an official marathon of some note starts adopting the wearing of the cap, baseball cap. He says, I wore it first. But anyway, there's this Nazi from South America who comes up, in the movie, comes up to New York to find if it's safe to go into the safety deposit box, ironically, safety deposit box, to see if he can procure the diamonds that he stole from the Jews in the concentration camps before he executed them, that is, killed them, gassed them. All that being said, there are reports that the Boston Marathon bombing of 2013 was perpetrated by two men who were nominal Muslims. One of them died in a shootout with police. The other one was captured but wounded gravely, but he's still being charged for terrorism. All right, now, having conditioned all these things, there's this one-upmanship. The Soviets had developed Sputnik, which is a satellite, artificial satellite. I don't know what year it was. And then there was the idea that the U.S. had to catch up with the Soviets in the space race. And when JFK said we would land a man on the moon by the end of the 60s, that is by 1969, and it turns out he was right. Hey, my God! But then, of course, he died in an assassination in Dallas, Texas, on November 22nd, 1963, shot by Harvey Oswald, who had defected to the Soviet Union after he'd come out of the Marine Corps. Anyway, now all that being said, all that, every little iota of information I've given you is relevant to this one little fact. If you are of a certain ilk, like Dustin Durbin was a certain ilk, he was a self-proclaimed anarchist. He was a member of the new SDS, Students for a Democratic Society. The weather in Seattle is very warm and toasty, and I'm hot on the trail of, potentially, someone ready to mount an attack on a bus in Seattle, Washington. That is, they're going to take over a bus, and they're going to have a huge fucking bomb, and they're going to invite the police to come by because they're going to have hostages. So they'll hold at gunpoint. A la the movie. I can't remember the movie. Denzel Washington was in it. He's a wonderful actor. I met him once when I was in D.C. But anyway, in the movie, or in the reality of things, this taking of a bus will result in inviting, well, basically emergency people like sheriffs, deputies, I don't know, FBI agents, all kinds of people, firefighters, to come close to the bus while they communicate, trying to negotiate a settlement. That is, ask the terrorists who've taken this bus, whatever this bus is, to give up and surrender and let go of the passengers. But they're not going to let go. What they want to do is let go of the bomb they have brought aboard the bus. It is a very sizable bomb. I don't know. It's not your normal, kitchen brewed bomb like it was in the marathon, in the Boston Marathon, evidently. Pressure cookers. It's more like military-grade explosives. C4. All that being said, you don't want that to happen, do you? No, you don't want that to happen. So you want to happen is to find out who these people are and throw some water on their plans. Just try to dampen down the fire that's bruised in their little fucking noggin that they want to do this. They want to outdo the marathon bombings, which they would if they had a loaded bus and, of course, a really huge bomb, and they're in a crowded part of the city, and they do it! Suicide bombers all. But you don't want that to happen, do you? Well, you want to stop them. How do you stop them? How do you stop them? You find out what they're planning, and you leave them a message. You say, if you even think about doing this, there'll be no place for you to go ever except the grave. And they say, we're willing to go to the grave. But you're not even going to go to the grave. You're going to go to a fucking pit in Springfield, Missouri, a federal prison of some note, and you won't even be able to do your shit because we're going to stop you. Who are you? We're the fucking government. Who's the fucking government? I don't know. I am, of course. Who are you? I'm Operations Officer Windfall. I work for the CIA. And how you doing there, Mr. and Mrs. America? How you doing there? Anyway, you like being dead? You really do? What's all that? What's all that afterlife stuff you've been thinking about? Oh, you're not thinking about it. Well, don't think about it then. Think about this. Pain. Think about pain, baby. Just pure fucking pain. We're going to give you so much fucking pain that you're going to say, Mommy! And then you're going to die. Anyway, signing off. This is 9/11, 2013.